I'm Clare Wood and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the basics of business finance, the numbers that you need to know to succeed in your business. In the online world, you often hear people in their marketing talking about the elusive six-figure or seven-figure business. And in today's video, I'm going to explain to you why that number should not necessarily be the gauge of success in someone's business. You see, when people are talking about the six-figure or the seven-figure number, they are talking about top line sales, not their profit number. So why is this important? Because profit is ultimately the money that you get to keep. It's what's left over after you have paid your bills. So when you sell something, maybe it's a product or a service, you'll receive money coming in. That is sales or revenue. However, you don't get to keep all of that money because your business incurs expenses. So if you have a product-based business, let's say you're selling t-shirts, you have to actually either buy or make those t-shirts yourself. It's going to cost you money to actually acquire the thing that you are selling. In a product-based business, the cost of the product is called COGS, or cost of goods sold. If you run a product-based business where the cost of your product makes up a significant amount of what your business costs to run, you probably want to recognize your gross margin, which is your sales minus your cost of goods sold. If you run a service-based business like I do, you probably don't need to worry too much about your cost of goods sold or your gross margin because these things aren't really a significant metric in a service-based business. Both product and service-based businesses do have the operating expenses of the business. So this is things like rent, if you've got an office space, your team, any subscriptions that you have. These are all lumped into a category called expenses. So the number that you need to know ultimately in business is your net profit. Your net profit is your sales minus your expenses to get your net profit. Or if you have a product-based business, it is your sales minus your cost of goods sold minus your expenses to get your net profit. Now, don't forget, out of your net profit, you may also have to pay tax as well. So there's another calculation that is used as a very valuable metric in business, and that is called net profit after tax. Here's an example of why knowing your profit is so important. You could have a business that is making $1 million a year in sales, but if you have expenses of $1 million a year, there's not going to be any profit left. And that's why knowing your profit is so important. After all, that's why we're in business, to make a profit. Otherwise, it's just an expensive hobby. There's one final number that I do want to add into the calculations here. And it's one that I call adjusted profit. This is if you run a small business where you pay yourself a wage out of the business. And the reason why we need to adjust for this, let me just explain. A wage you pay yourself as a director might be coming out of your business as an expense. I've had examples where clients of mine have looked at their financials and completely freaked out because it looks like they're not making any profit. But I remind them, hey, if we go and have a look at your director's wage, which is part of your expenses, you actually paid yourself $10,000 this month as a wage. So even though the business itself is not showing a profit, you did make $10,000 that you've been able to pull out as a wage, which you can enjoy. So when I'm looking at a profit, I will often add back the director's wage, if it's a small business, to get what I call an adjusted profit, just so that it's a bit more reflective of what's really going on in the business. So now I want to ask you a question. Do you know how much profit, not sales, profit, your business has made for the past month and how much profit your business has made for the past year? If you don't know off the top of your head, don't beat yourself up. But this is an important number for you to know. So I really encourage you to make sure that you run your profit and loss report at the end of every month so that you truly understand if your business is making a profit and how much profit it is making. If you want to find out how to actually run a profit and loss report and how to understand what it's telling you, if you don't know how to run a profit and loss report or how to understand what it means, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I'll be sharing how to run a profit and loss report and how to understand what it's telling you in a future video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.